Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near death experience of Romy, and this experience occurred in September of 2003 and was submitted on January 22nd of 2017. And this experience has some language in it. There's a kidnapping and aggression of a man towards a woman. So you may want to hold listening or skip in the beginning. It's not very long issues, but just wanted to let you know. So here we go. Open quote. My aggressor kidnapped me for 48 hours. Even if I forgot everything that happened during those 2 days, I still remember in detail what I saw that day. He raped me several times, drugged me, and made me drink a lot of 90 proof alcohol. He injected air in my veins, then dragged me into a tub where he sliced open my arms. I cannot say for how long I was here. I saw my body and his below as he tried to kill himself on that day by slicing his throat. Then I found myself barefoot in a white dress. I felt the grass under my feet. I followed the path to a castle. In front of the door, there were two monks who seemed to be waiting for me. The hooded robe covered their faces, so I could only see their noses and mouths. Both men were identical and held a sword pointed towards the ground, with both hands resting, one on top of the other, on the pommel of the sword. I entered the castle, reached for the oil lamp, and then went down a spiral staircase. All the way down there was a hall filled with light. It led to a church chapel. On both sides the benches were filled with monks, similar to those I met at the front door. When I advanced down the aisle, they all stood up and watched me pass. I knelt down in front of the man in the back of the church. He was holding a crown made of laurel, sitting on a violet cushion with a gold rim around it. There was also a white dove. He asked me if I wanted to go back to my body. He said that I had a mission to accomplish and that I would know in time about it. I answered yes. Then he put the crown on my head. I looked up and saw a sentence engraved above the door of the chapel near the stairs: Lux Veritas, Lux Omniscium, Lux Dei, Truth, Enlightenment, God. I came back to consciousness in the bathroom and crawled out to the telephone. 1 year after this experience, I entered the army. This was not normal, since I never participated in any sports in my life. Then I continued to process and study my experience. I met shamans and did a lot of meditation. I also went for 2 years seeing a psychotherapist. End quote. Well, there are some questions here. Smaller answers. Questions: did you seem to enter some other unearthly world? Answer: the landscape seemed to be Scottish or Irish, with this old, ruined castle and grass under my feet. There was also some wind. Question: what emotions did you feel during the experience? Answer: a sensation of well-being, to be where I belonged. Question: did you suddenly seem to understand everything? Answer: I suddenly understood that life could have a meaning, that I had to make others understand and help them finding their ways. Question: did scenes from the future come to you? Answer: no. After that, I saw that the world in what we live will stop to exist the way it is as of 2020. I saw buildings burning and hungry people. Let me read that one again. Question: did scenes from the future come to you? Answer: no. After that, I saw that the world in what we live will stop to exist the way it is as of 2020. I saw buildings burning and hungry people. Question, did you come to a border, a point of no return? Answer, I knowingly chose to come back, that it was not my hour, and that there was still much to do. Question, what importance did you place on your religious/spiritual life prior to your experience? Answer, not important to me. Question, what was your religion prior to your experience? Answer, unaffiliated atheist. I didn't believe in anything. Question, have your religious practices changed since your experience? Answer, yes. I started to meditate, to try practicing astral travel, and to believe in a higher being, but also in reincarnation. Question, what importance do you place on your religious/spiritual life after your experience? Answer, greatly important to me. Question, what is your religion now? Answer, other or several faiths. Pagan, open parens, Viking, with several gods, of which one of nature, one of life, etc. Question, did your experience include features consistent with your earthly beliefs? Answer, I was an atheist at the time and didn't believe in God. I thought that death was the end of everything. Nevertheless, this light, the dove, and the chapel shattered quite a few things in my beliefs. Question, did you have a change in your values and beliefs because of your experience? Answer, yes. I started to have a code of honor and was living a long time like a monk, with much meditation, a rather solitary life, and it was there that I started to believe in Viking gods and goddesses. Question, did you seem to encounter a mystical being or presence or hear an unidentifiable voice? Answer, the man in habit at the back of the hall was the only one talking to me, even if the other men present had been standing up and staring at me and followed my advance down the aisle. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about universal connection or oneness? Answer, yes, I think that the sentence and the notion of light could be part of the connection. Question, did you believe in the existence of God prior to your experience? Answer, God does not exist. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about the existence of God? Answer, yes. I'm not a Christian, but many references to this connection and about the light appeared. I think that this knowledge is far more ancient, and after that, it made me look into much older beliefs where light kept an important part in life and death. Question, do you believe in the existence of God after your experience? Answer, God probably exists. Question, during your experience, did you gain special knowledge or information about your purpose? Answer, yes. I came back with magnetism and a capacity to talk to people to help them find their ways in the world. Knowledge concerning medicinal plants and an increased empathy is the gift that I received on that day. Question, did you believe that our earthly lives are meaningful and significant prior to your experience? Answer, are not meaningful and significant. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about the meaning of life? Answer, yes. I understood that we all have a destiny to accomplish and that sometimes it imposes a great self-sacrifice to reach it. Question, do you believe in an afterlife after your experience? Answer, an afterlife definitely exists. Yes, all of us have something to do after our death, and I think that we are reincarnating. Question, do you fear death after your experience? Answer, I do not fear death. Question, did you gain information about how to live our lives? Answer, yes. We shouldn't be content just skimming over ourselves. We really should dive into ourselves, being in harmony with ourselves, and never let go our interior light. Our happiness is our connection with the world and ourselves. Question, what life changes occurred in your life after your experience? Answer, large changes occurred in my life. 1 week after my aggression, I started doing sport. moved out, entered the army, became a magnetizer, even though this was not really my trade. I guided quite a few people. I traveled. I went to meet shamans, went to the forest, rooted myself in nature, got a tattoo. I started photography in order to express my emotions. I changed countries. I married and went back to school to be a herbalist and naturopath in hospital and to really help people. Wow. Have your relationships changed specifically because of your experience? Answer, yes. I became more calm, more sure of myself, more radiant. What facilitated my relationship with others? Question, was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer, no. Question, how accurately do you remember the experience in comparison to other life events that occurred around the time of the experience? Answer, I remember more accurately. I really don't remember much of this period of time except that I didn't do anything but playing video games, drinking, was out of school, my mother kicked me out of the house. Nothing really interesting. Question, do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? Answer, yes. Magnetism, intuitive writing, capacity to see exterior lives, feel things that you cannot see, increased empathy, and knowledge about plants. Question, are there one or several parts of your experience that are especially meaningful or significant to you? Answer, yes, especially the episode in the chapel with the choice that I got to come back, as well as the confidence I was given on this day. Question, have you ever shared this experience with others? Answer, yes. Several years, they didn't believe me. Question, did you have any knowledge of NDEs prior to your experience? Answer, no. Question, what did you believe about the reality of your experience shortly, days to weeks after it happened? Answer, experience was definitely real. I was hanging on to this second sense I was giving. My reality had not really changed in such a small time, except for the sports and moving out. Question, what do you believe about the reality of your experience now? Answer, experience was definitely real. I still consider it to be real because of the journey that followed and of this light that never left me, as well as everything that developed with time and what allowed me to sometimes help people. Wow, end quote. End questions. So interesting, the directions people go, and so glad to hear that Romy was able to go on with her life and sounds like thriving on that as well. That's awesome. Thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great day.